Up and Adam. Good morning, Twin Cities. Up and Adam. I'm Jack Tomczak. That is Andrew Lead, the show produced by Lump.
Kinda.
At 7 o'clock, Nick Zerwas will be third wheeling. He's a state representative out of Elk River, serves in the Minnesota legislature.
Moving on.
Gumbo the Gorilla. Gumbo. All day long, 3 hours, 6 to 9.
Is it Harambe?
Harambe.
Gumbo.
Cecil.
Okay. That's enough of that.
Cecil was a dyker. On the show today at 7 o'clock, we'll talk with Nick Zerwas about the state legislature, the end of the regular session, the possibility of a special session, some election news, and news out of yesterday, the no federal charges in the Jamar Clark case.
Correct.
And
the Justice Department finished their investigation and reached the same conclusions as Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman.
And at the end of the show, 8:40, Andrew's mandatory list. Andrew's favorite types of nougat.
I'm assuming. Top 12.
Top 12 nougats.
Top 12 nougats at 8:40. You're not going to want to miss that.
No, you will not.
How many different types?
I think there's one.
Yeah.
It's nougat.
I don't even know what nougat is.
Nobody does.
What are you talking about?
There's a nougat mine. Certainly not chocolate.
Oh.
At all.
My favorite kind of nougat is the blood nougat. Mined by small children in Africa.
That's right. The most expensive of the nougat.
Did you guys just make up a word?
No, it's the what is in a Snickers bar?
I don't know.
There's peanuts.
I'm not a Snickers bar maker.
Caramel.
I don't make the Snickers bars.
There's chocolate.
I just consume them.
And what else?
I don't know.
What's in a Milky Way bar?
Pixie dust?
No,
nougat.
It's nougat.
Okay.
Google it. Google nougat.
Google the nougat.
I did. I googled nougat and I got Denver nuggets.
You just can't spell.
No, 1G, right?
Nougat, I believe.
What are you spelling?
It's just a terrible joke I came up with as I was speaking.
It is a thing.
We don't. Yes, of course.
You're
it's a thing.
awful at jokes.
We don't get that drop. We don't need to spend too much time on it. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening with this show.
Well,
It looks like almond bark.
I gave the show planning responsibilities over to Andrew today. So I was knee-deep in my rental property yesterday.
Right.
So I don't know what we're supposed to be talking about this time. But I can tell you about my rental house.
What's going on with your rental property? Because you sent us a couple. Are people moving out?
No, but it's in Coon Rapids. They have to re-up your rental license, and that takes an inspection. So I was there for that.
Oh, that's...
So they knew you were coming?
Yeah.
And it still looked like that?
Yeah.
Wow. Being a landlord's fun.
Well, when it comes time to sell, it'll be new carpet and a coat of paint. It'll be fine.
Sure.
But people live different ways.
Some people live in squalor.
Some do. Yeah.
Some people live in filth. Some people live in filth and squalor.
But one of the issues that my tenant is having is the chandelier in the dining room fell.
That's the biggest of the issues. That's the big problem. How'd they notice?
That is the issue I'm comfortable talking about on air. So I had to go over there and take a look and maybe hire an electrician or fix it myself. And I decided that it was something I could handle myself. So I took to it.
Why would you decide that?
Well, I put the chandelier up in the first place probably 5 years ago.
Maybe that's why it fell down.
Possibly.
God, lump.
But, that's, if something falls, blame the person who put it up. I get it.
Logical, right?
Yeah.
I'm not picking on you.
Not my fault. The nut got stripped.
I hate when that happens.
Yep. It's a severe medical problem. But long story short,
That's usually a duct tape mount problem.
it was a bear to put up in the first place
Because you're not an electrician?
because I'm not an electrician. It was a bear to put up in the first place back when all the parts worked. Little tougher with some wear and tear and a stripped nut. So it was GD awful.
Yeah.
And I'm up on a ladder, and I don't know how electricians are magical people or they've got tiny hands, because like everything has to happen
In a really
small,
tiny space.
You got more wires than you need until you need a little bit more room, and then the wires aren't long enough.
Right.
It's all got to fit into this decorative thing. It's all up there. And doing this, you had to hold the chandelier in the other hand.
Yeah, you got to hold the chandelier the whole time. So you got one hand holding a heavy light fixture.
Yeah.
The other hand has to manipulate and connect all these wires.
That if you do it wrong, it'll kill somebody.
Right.
Good luck.
Yeah. And usually require a tool to do some of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was a pain in the butt, and I was doing this by myself, and at some point, my tenant's teenage kid comes home from school. And I don't like help with projects usually, but he offered twice. Finally, I said, hold this. And I gave the 16, 17-year-old wrestling, football-playing teenager the heavy lamp. Hold this right there. And he did. For like 20 minutes. It was great. I can't wait till my kids are old enough to hold things
Now,
while I wire them.
I've been a renter since, 2007 when I left Indianapolis. We owned a home in Indianapolis, and we were renters before we owned that home. We've been renters since that we've owned that home. We always take very good care of our house. We keep it clean. We don't, if we damage something, we repair it or pay to have it
I've been
repaired.
to your house, and you sop up all the blood.
We do. But I've been a landlord, too. We rented out our house in Indy for several years. And when our first tenants moved out after having lived there about 4.5, 5 years-ish, we drove...
Is that how you describe them?
Yeah. We, the car, we knew the house needed a fresh coat of paint inside, needed a new carpet, needed to be cleaned. And we calculated, and rather than pay somebody to do all that, we figured it would be cheaper for us to drive down, spend a couple nights in a hotel, and do it all ourselves. And I don't know what it is about some renters, but the people that lived in our house were wonderful people, paid their rent on time, never had any issues. The guy was a contractor, so a handful of repairs, he went ahead and took care of himself and just sent us a bill for the parts. I mean, you couldn't ask for better tenants from that perspective.
Okay.
But we get to the house and we walk in and
Hang on. If you're eating breakfast, pause.
it's apparent that they had let their pets, dogs, cats, I don't know what they had let their pets urinate inside the house for apparently the entirety of their time there.
Oh, my goodness.
Like 5 years. The carpet was light beige, whitish beige when we left, and it was rust colored when we walked back in. And I'm talking the entire house, not just a section of the house. Every bedroom, every everything. The carpet was just soaked to the point where when you were walking on it, you could hear it squish underneath your feet.
Okay, I'm so disgusted now. I want to go home. Thank you.
Imagine having to spend 3 days in there cleaning that
Lump.
house.
15 minutes into the show.
Don't you live in a pony barn where ponies just go to the bathroom?
My
this
ponies
is your
are
life.
disgusting.
This is
Yeah,
your
but
life.
They have little clean areas that they go in and you clean it up. We're not filthy.
I know ponies who are cleaner than you people.
They are.
That's weird, though. You'd think that if somebody was off enough to let their animals just use their house as a bathroom, they wouldn't pay rent on time. That there would be other out
issues.
Of control stuff would extend into other places.
No, they were great tenants in every respect. From being a landlord that lived somewhere else, had a property manager, never had any problems with them. They were late with the rent one time, and the whole time they lived there, and that was because there was a massive snowstorm and mail got delayed for a couple days. Nothing you can do about that. That was the only time they were ever late with rent.
Maybe that snowstorm spooked the dogs and they wouldn't go outside anymore to go to the bathroom.
Right.
I don't know.
Amazing. I couldn't believe the conditions that they just chose to live in.
It's just it'll blow your mind.
It's bizarre.
While I'm putting up yesterday, this is a pet-related story, then we'll break, putting up the chandelier after spending hours in the house and I'd rather have been home with my kids, teenage boy comes home. There had been a sign on a bedroom door that said that there was a dog in there, friendly dog, just say the dog's name and the dog will be fine. I decided not to risk it. Not that I'm afraid of dogs as a guy who's almost 40, but I'm a little afraid of dogs, especially dogs I don't know. Teenage boy comes home. Says, hey, I'm going to let the dog out. I'm like, oh, okay. She's going to jump on you. This dog. Probably it was a perfectly friendly dog, but had the look of a dog that is a little scary. She's going to jump on you. I'm like, okay. I'm going to soil myself. I didn't, and neither did the dog. All right, boss man, what's coming up on the other side of the break?
We'll get into a little bit of that Jamar Clark decision that the Justice Department handed down yesterday, but I want to save most of that for later in the show where we can get your reaction and when Nick Zerwas is here. And Governor Dayton signed a couple more bills into law. I'll let you know what those were and more.
In crayon.